Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is gonna be a real quick video. This is an NFP video. It's because today is NFP, today is Friday, NFP, and this is just a kind of like setups that I've seen. I usually don't trade during NFP week, which is why I'm out this week. I do tape read the market, but I'm not really involved with it. So I wanted to kind of like take you guys and just kind of like show setups that I've seen, and kind of like, okay, a setup that I would have actually take if I were to trade. It's a good setup. It's looking good, like, you know. So here I'm just gonna pull up the chart. Well, into S&P 500. I was doing some back testing, and that's kind of like where I saw the setup, and I just wanted to make a real quick video about it. So here on S&P 500, this is this week. This is Monday, and this is Friday, and this is where we are today. So this is an old weekly fair value gap, which in the last video I made, I was like, okay, we are moving from inefficiency to inefficiency. I would like to see how we close throughout this weekly fair value gap. So ideally, you know, you'll probably close by 50% of the fair value gap, which is here. So that was what I was monitoring those last 3 days. So as price trade, the body of the candle couldn't quite close above the fair value gap. So you see body of candle on Wednesday, we went through it on Thursday, which was yesterday, and then didn't close above it. And then today we trade back up, take out yesterday high, and then end up taking out yesterday's lows. So what made this setup very interesting is the fact that, okay, we trade from one side of liquidity, we take out the previous day high, we shift in market structure right here. So here we can see that, oh, we do have a shift in market structure right here at this point, and then we have a fair value gap. So at 10, the silver bullet, we trade back into this fair value gap, which is a 15-minute fair value gap, yeah, and we trade right to the 50% of that 15-minute fair value gap, and we started moving lower, taking the relative equal lows that are here. So I mean that liquidity, and then so we take out the sell side liquidity, and then, you know, price is stalling around it. This is basically NFP. Ideally, you don't want to trade those days, because things that happen during those days are things that you may not expect them to happen. So sometimes stuff happen and you're not sure what to do, and usually it's too aggressive. So that's why I don't trade it. But one of the things that I wanted to show in this video is the fact that if you look at real trading hour, you'll see that, okay, this is the opening range for today, but before it gets to the open range, it opens and take out the previous day AM session high, which is like the high of the day that we're looking for. So in this case, we're looking for the high of the PM session, or the high of the AM session. In this case, it opens away from the PM session, which PM session is between this, and trade all the way back to this. So we're looking at the high and low of AM session and PM session. So what it did, it opens up, trade, take out the open above AM session high, trade lower, create a fair value gap, trade back into the consequent encroachment, or the 50% of this gap, which is around here, trade back into the fair value gap, which trade back into the fair value gap, like 50% of fair value gap, which I think 50% of the fair value gap is back into that should be either the yellow bar. It should be either a volume imbalance or a gap, a weekly gap, which is trade right into that gap. As you
now
can see,
connected to laptop 4Q8 job 2.
As you can see, trade right, the body of the candle stay at the high of the gap, and then it started moving lower, taking the sell side, and then the sell side here. If you're asking me where do I see it going, ideally I would like to see it come back here into this fair value gap, which if you look here, that fair value gap will be into an old new week opening gap, which is kind of like where ideally I want to see at. Right now we're into PM session, but what I want to show you guys is how it perfectly target the opening range, trade to the consequent approach approachment of that opening range. If you were to look at the week of the candles between this and this one, and once it did that, you retrace back into that fair value gap, body of the candle closed at 50%, and then it start melting lower. NFP, and it's just very simple. You look at, previous day high, previous day low, you find your setup, and then it could just be a 2 to 4 hour setup. Like, it's that simple. Which is, as you can see, market hasn't closed yet, but I was gonna do the analysis, I was gonna do the back testing, and just make a video. I hope you enjoy, I hope you learned something. Those videos are gonna be more frequent because it's short, quick to make, and I hope you guys enjoy it. If you like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Right now we are getting close to 100 subs, so if you guys can just help me get to 100 subs, I would really appreciate that. Until next time, my friend,